Understanding the buying decision process in marketing is critical for growing your business without losing sales. Unfortunately, most businesses start on just promoting their product, and so they're starting on step 3 of the 5-step buyer's journey. This 5-step buyer's journey is illustrated in Dan Kennedy's book, The Ultimate Marketing Plan, and you can find it in various different formats in different places. And so today I want to talk about especially step 1 and 2 that is being missed out a whole bunch, and we'll go a little bit through all 5 steps, but the focus is talking about those. So step 1 is problem aware. So this is when a person has a need or desire to solve a problem. We have a saying in marketing that people don't buy a 1/4 inch drill bit, they buy a 1/4 inch hole. What they really want is the benefit that the product gives them. And so let's talk about the problem, because as marketers or business owners, we are problem solving people. That's all we do. A person has a problem and we solve it. We say needs, what we're really talking about is usually wants. People have basic needs: food, shelter, clothing. And so we actually talk to wants most of the time, because even where people need a nice house, well, they need a house or a shelter, they want a nice house, they want better clothing, they want better food, and they want an iPhone and all these other things. And so what we're really doing is talking to the wants that they have. If we look in terms of problems that we're solving, sometimes it's a problem with a have, so I don't have a phone and now I have a phone, but also how we feel about those things. Sometimes we're moving people's emotional state. If they're buying an iPhone, they're gonna feel happier because they feel cool because they have their iPhone now. And then at the higher level, we're talking about a status thing as well. So people change status by buying products. And so often we're solving the problem of status, of you're not cool, you don't have an iPhone. Oh, now I have an iPhone and I feel cool. And so this is what we're really doing as marketers, talking to this problem level. The big opportunity that we have at the moment, in the olden days when you just ran TV ads and spent a lot of money, we'd have to talk down this different level to the product aware stage. So if we look at the 5 steps, step 1 is problem aware, solution aware, 2, 3 is product aware, 4 price value agreement basically, and step 5 is a call to action or reason to act now. And so at level 1, we're talking about a problem. In the olden days when we ran TV commercials, we had to run them and spend a lot of money to put a TV ad on, and so we needed to attract a whole bunch of people to come and buy a product. That is very focused on the product and trying to move people. So we wanted to start as close to the bottom of the step as possible: product aware, price value, and call to action, which is your discounting and that kind of thing. So a lot of time was spent playing in that space. What organic social media has done has opened up that problem aware and solution aware phases, so we can actually talk to those people for free. Google did it with SEO as well, because people could start going to find solutions to problems and they start there. We have Google, we have YouTube, which are massive search engines where people are looking to solve problems and they start higher up in the journey before they move down. I think what a lot of brands are missing is we're too busy focusing on this product aware stage and downwards, instead of actually building a relationship at the problem aware stage, and then people are naturally going to choose our product because they've built a relationship of trust. It also means we change from a desperate salesperson down the bottom of the funnel and move further up where we're actually helping them solve a problem, so we become a trusted advisor. What does all this mean? Let's try an example. With buying a protein powder, people don't actually want a container full of powder, believe it or not. They want to solve a problem. And so the problem that they see is, I don't have enough protein in my diet. So the first step in our journey is actually educating people that they don't have enough protein in their diet to solve the problem that they want to solve. For example, most people might get adequate amount of protein from their diet from eating regular food, and whatever regular means to you. If they're on a meat-eating diet and so they can eat enough meat, they hit their protein intake as recommended by the scientists and all the dietary people, and so happy as Larry. If they're vegan, they need to get their protein from different sources like tofu and seitan and all these other different things that we have, beans and legumes, vegan. So we have to watch our protein more and look at those different areas. If you are a person who wants to build muscle in the gym, then you need an extra level of protein, because the research shows that you need to have extra protein because it helps in muscle building. So if you want muscle hypertrophy, where you grow the size of your muscles, you have to invest in protein and take more. You could get, we'll come into the solution part anyway. So the problem is that they need protein. So first is identifying that need. If you're a 20-year-old single male who's heterosexual, you want protein, but not really. You want bigger muscles. Why do you want bigger muscles? Well, you probably want to attract more of the ladies. So that's what's really driving that purchase and what the problem is that they're trying to solve. No one really wants to just go to the gym and work out for multiple hours a week just for funsies. There's a hidden problem that they're trying to solve because of that, in terms of status or the desires that they want and all that kind of thing. So if we're talking to a single male, heterosexual, 20 years old, that kind of thing, that might be the problem that they're trying to solve. If we were talking to a gay man of the same age, he wants to attract men, so we're solving a different problem, right? So we need to think about how we're talking to these different customer segments. If you're talking to a 20-year-old female, she might just want to get good muscle tone and be fitter and burn fat and that kind of thing. She doesn't want to bulk up and become a bodybuilder. In some cases they do, some cases they don't. And so as a different market segment, that's who we'd be talking to when we said that message. And so there's a whole bunch of problem messages. If we talk to grandparents, like 60 years old, they want to have the energy to run around with the grandkids and the strength to lift them up and put them in the car and do all these different things. So they might need more protein at that level in their life, and so there's different messaging towards that. And so the benefit of social media is we can target all these different customer segments through organic social content, and that means they will see things that are interesting to them. So the 20-year-old male is not going to see the message about the grandparents and looking after your kids and having more strength protein. They're going to see the building muscles to attract women type stuff, or building muscle to attract men, and all those kind of different messages. And so we can build our funnel out to talk to different cohorts and then bring them down into what we're doing. Because of the 5 steps of the journey, I'll come back to, in stage 3 of the product, how we align all of these things together to make sure that we're not turning off some of our market by trying to market to everyone, and where to niche and where you don't have to niche now because of the social media and the organic reach that we now have. Okay, so we're talking about solving a problem. We've gone and done that. How do we do that? We educate people. And so when we say educate, I call this education-based branding. Rather than just going out and being a desperate salesperson to buy my protein powder, we start to educate people about why they need or want protein powder, and we're talking to that messaging instead. So we're attracting them in and trying to become a trusted advisor and give them useful information. Education is kind of a catch-all. What I mean by that is we want to educate, we want to inspire, and we want to entertain at the same time. If education is just a science person standing at a whiteboard doing chemical formulas, it's probably over the top for most of the market. Some of the market will be very attracted to that, but other bits will be repelled. And so we want to make sure that we have a mix in our content, that we're educating people in an entertaining and inspiring way as well, not just fully focused on, when you think education, you go back to school and studying books, and kind of people perceive it as boring sometimes. And I don't. I like education, and I like reading books and all that kind of weird and wonderful things. You probably do too if you're bothering to watch this. However, we want to make sure that we appeal to our market in the way that they want to be appealed to. So you can see how quickly we can build out a whole bunch of different content for these people, because they want to solve this particular problem, but that doesn't mean one piece of content. There's 20 times 20 different ways of creating like 400 different pieces of content that speaks to the same customer cohort in a different way each time, with a different problem to build all this out. So you can create a whole bunch of different content. And when I look at most people's social media feeds for a business, it's all promote the product, promote the product, promote the product, and no one cares, no one wants to follow. When you start talking about education, or entertaining and inspiring them, people start following the channel because then they're getting interested in what you have to say. And so you get more following and more people start coming into the funnel and more sharing and more engagement, which brings Moople in for free for you. It's just the cost of the content creation. And that means you've got more potential customers while your competitors are down here going, why won't you just buy my product? Hopefully that all makes sense. So let's move on to step 2, which is solution aware. Solution aware is obviously once we've raised the problem, we need to solve the problem. Otherwise people aren't going to be very happy. And these pieces of content probably sandwiched together. You can sandwich all 5 pieces into one piece, but you can also do different slivers to make like problem solution can be more engaging because it doesn't have a product pitch attached to it. So you just have to test it for your market and see. Some pieces will just be problem solution, some bits will be product down to like price, value and call to action all in one piece, and you can interchange and play with the different layers to make sure you're hitting all parts of the buyer's journey in different places. However, so solution aware, this means this is picking the thing that's going to solve the problem. If you're thinking about using, it's easier to do an example. So again, with the protein, so people don't need a protein powder to get more protein, they could just eat more food. And so a lot of people recommend eating your calories and getting all your food and don't bother doing all those powders, and powders are bad for you. What those people don't think about is the quantity of food you actually need to eat in order to get the protein that you need. So when you are trying to gain a bunch of muscle, you can be eating like bodybuilders will eat 4 to 6 times a day, massive meals, and it feels like you're eating all the time. So they can eat more chicken and lamb and beef and all that kind of stuff and get all that protein from that. So that is one solution that could be help them get more protein. If they're on a vegan diet, the solution is going to be different, but you're going to have tofu and different things. And again, the quantity of food might not be as easy as having a protein powder. So you're educating people around different solutions and how that can help them. We've done in our work educating, as you can tell, I talk about protein because we've sold protein powders. So people who have gone, oh, I get a whole bunch of protein from this, and these foods don't actually have that much protein in it, and generally the market doesn't understand that. Or I need to eat so much of this quantity of this food to get the protein that I need. And there's a lot of misunderstanding. We forget as business owners, because we dive down into this detail so much, that the complexity that we understand, like a consumer has a couple of seconds of attention to buy your product. And so they are very focused on just tell me what to do and make it as clear as possible. And we need to get them through those steps as easily as possible. They don't want to go and read a whole bunch of scientific journals on protein intake and that kind of thing. That's our job, and then explaining that to our customers in an entertaining, inspiring, and educational way. Okay, so in order to solve that problem, we're now talking about the different categories of solutions that there are. Then you might break it down in terms of your protein powder and say, well, there's different protein powders on the market. Some of them say are whey-based and some of them are plant-based. And so what's the difference between that? And you're going to educate people on the difference and obviously probably lean towards the option that you chose to make your product out of. Then from your plant-based one, you might have people who use ingredients that aren't that healthy, fillers and binders and additives and all this other random stuff, sweeteners and things to make it taste super nice, like a chocolate milkshake, instead of being more healthy and traditional. So you might sell it on, if you have all that stuff and it's about taste, then you're going to be talking about having a nice tasting one. So it's easier to consume and you make sure you build the habit and you do it, versus trying to do the super healthy one and that tastes terrible and you'll break the habit. And if you have the super healthy one, then you're going to talk about all the bad stuff that's in the other ones and why people should eat your super healthy one, because it has less of the naughty stuff and what that naughty stuff is doing to your body in the process. So it doesn't matter what your product is, you can see that you've gone down this route of solving a problem in a specific way. And that's what you need to educate people on, why you made the decisions that you made in terms of your product. I meet so many business owners and they like to, how do we say this nicely, crap all over their competitors and say, well, their stuff isn't as good as ours. Ours is the best. But every business owner thinks that, because every business owner has the best solution for a particular person. That means that when we think about our ideal customer, is not everyone. We've solved a problem for a specific person, and that's the person we're trying to educate and bring along on the ride to attract them into our marketing and get them to want to buy our product. There are people who have different belief systems, people who will say that protein's real unhealthy, or this energy drinks are bad because they're super unhealthy. Oh, energy drinks, you can have healthy energy drinks and they're good, but you have to put up with bad taste. Or you can have great tasting energy drinks, or you can just drink coffee, or like there's a whole bunch of different solutions to the problem, and you just have to attract people to the solution that you've chosen and given them reasons why you've actually chosen that. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the kind of solution aware stage that we're talking to. So now we actually, once we've done problem and solution, we move on to step 3, which is actually buying the product. So product aware. This is where people become aware of the different products in the market. So if you've narrowed down through your solution, so if I was buying a protein powder, I might be on a plant-based different protein powder, and I'm starting to compare the different products. We've taken some of like the difference in ingredients and different in choices and that kind of thing, and we've pushed it up into solution aware because we want to educate people early before we start pitching the product. When you put your product and just say, our product is better because we have this, this, and this, and everyone else is crap because we have this, and it's directly pitching your product, it comes across more like you're just selling them on your ideal solution. When you move it up a stage into solution aware and you're not pitching your particular product, but you're teaching people that that ingredient's bad and this ingredient's good, and then later on they find out, oh, your product happens to have those. What a coincidence. It removes a lot of friction around the process. This means that we don't want to just be like, our product's the best, blah, 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 blah. And we're running different like content in here as well. It can be content, but this is also where you can start bringing in ads that are more directly about the product that have already worked on organically, and then you're going to post them through here. And we can do like testimonial ads, we can do content, well, let's keep to content around testimonials, reviews from people, influencer stuff, us versus them, where you do a comparison and you can decide how specific you get on who you're comparing yourself with, or whether their image is blurred out or whatever. Product focused one, focused on benefits and that kind of thing. I would say the biggest problem that people face in this section is they talk about their product, they don't talk about the benefits of the product. And everyone buys a product to get benefits. That's to solve the problem. You have that ingredient because it gives you this outcome. And so we need to talk more about the outcome that you're going to get in this stage. I think a lot of people, like everyone's pitching their products and that kind of thing, so I won't spend a whole bunch of time on this, but just think whatever the features you've chosen for your product, turn it into a benefit. A quick, easy way to do this is add the words "so you can" in the middle. We have our protein powder contains omega-3s, so you can take less bottles of supplements and get everything in one go. So you can have better brain health because of the omega-3s. FDA has not evaluated these statements, but pretty sure. So you can avoid taking capsules in the morning. There's a whole bunch of different benefits. Those last one was not very strong, where you can write down what the benefits of actually taking your product is, and that's what you should be talking about, and it helps them push people over the edge about why they should choose yours. Okay, now we're moving on to step 4. We're starting to get rolling now. So price value argument. This is pretty simple. Will people pay for your product? Are they willing to spend the money in order to do that? And this is the tricky bit. Seems real simple, but can be a little bit complicated in terms of what we're doing. So I'll give you a few little techniques to help with this and try and make your price value argument better. Basically, we only are willing to buy a product when we imagine that the money that we exchange, we're going to get more value back in terms of that. So if you're going to spend $30 on a thing of protein powder, you value, and you have to do that every month, right? So if you think about it, 12 months, we're talking $360. $360 a year Having bigger muscles, is that worth $360 to me? Well, if I'm super attractive and I attract my ideal partner, or I get to run around and lift up my grandkids and stuff, that's value that I want. So I'm willing to exchange that money in terms for that. You're probably going to struggle to sell $1,000 protein powder because people are like, oh, that's $12,000 a year. How much is this value of picking up my kids or having bigger muscles or attracting women? For a high-end market, maybe there could be stuff, and there could be status and things built into it because you put gold powder slivers into your container and it's like, I'm a famous rapper and I only take $1,000 protein powder. It's like the fancy working out version of buying expensive champagne and a status purchase. Anyway, I digress. So how it sits in the market compared to your competitors is going to be important. You usually have a price range of where products sit, and then you're trying to add value in terms of your brand and why people will pay a premium for your brand over other ones. A lot of people go the other way and they try, oh, how do I make it the cheapest possible? Instead of going, how do I make it as valuable as possible? I see we work with lots of vegan brands and they're like, oh, we use this sustainable packaging and we do this and we do that, and they put in all these extra stuff and we look after our staff and we and it's like, well, that costs you more money, so you've got to charge more for your product to justify that. If people want to buy a premium product made by happy people and not children over in some foreign country, and with sustainable packaging and stuff, all of that costs money, and so you're building your brand premium into that with your costs. So that's your story and your message that you're selling. So you're trying to justify that price and tell that story about why your product is more valuable for them. That ties into the problem that they're solving, the solution, but also the way that you're solving that problem for them. How does it align to the ethics and the values that they have? Why do they want to identify with your brand over another one? If you look at a Nike t-shirt, you can get like a plain white t-shirt for like probably $3 or something ridiculous. But you can get a Nike one for like $50 because it has a swoosh on it. The t-shirt is almost the same. You can argue for, well, it's better quality cotton and all this kind of stuff. But let's be real, we're buying for that swoosh because it's a status symbol to say, I'm an athlete and I like to run and do stuff and I'm all fit. We want to identify with Nike and all the famous sports stars that also wear the gear. So we're actually buying the status and the brand premium, not the product. And the most successful companies detach the cost of making the product and build this brand premium on top of it. Once you understand this and can start to stand out in your market in a different way, then it's a whole new game. And if you look at any luxury or premium brands or those kind of things, the ones that are not fighting to be the cheapest ever, like they do usually a lot more profit than the ones that are trying to be the cheapest ever. And the problem with competing to be the cheapest is Dan Kennedy says, there's no prize for being the second cheapest company in town. You either want to be the cheapest or you might as well be premium. All right, so most of us will probably be a premium product and you want to aim at that level. Moving on. So once we've got people to justify that they're willing to actually pay the money for what it is, we need step 5, which is call to action. And it's giving them a reason to act now. Humans are amazing procrastinators. It's like the one skill that we've all mastered and are super good at. So we will put off our decisions until later if we can. So if we see a product that we really, really want, we're going to go, oh, that looks great, like amazing. Yeah, I'll think about that and I'll get back to you, or I'll have a look at it. My wife recently bought some sandals with arch support type stuff in it, and she's been seeing the Instagram ads for like 2 years. She's like, oh, I'm going to go get these now. 2 years of them marketing to her finally gave her a reason to do it, and I don't know what that actual reason in her head was, but it pushed her over the edge. So you need a reason to act now, and this is why we miss out on a whole bunch of sales. It's also why discounting is so popular, because it pushes people over the edge with these kind of things. If you want to be a quality brand, if your only tool in the marketing box is to do a discount and a sale, you're going to struggle, because people just get trained and they wait to buy on discount. We all have stores where we're like, they go on sale at certain times, and so I know when to go. Why would I buy it full price when I can buy it on sale? And I've just got to get my timing right. My wife is very good at going, oh, Kingsbirth, sorry, US people won't know what that is. Some special holidays coming up, and so there's going to be a discount for that, so I'm going to watch out. And she times her product purchases perfectly to those holidays and be like, oh, there's a big discount, we just stocked up. We have cupboards full of soap, and like we go through a lot of protein powder, but we stock up on specific times where we buy a whole quantity. It's like when people take a big trip to Costco and it's like, I needed 200 rolls of toilet paper because I might run out. And let's face it, COVID now, everyone's got an excuse. Anyway, so you need a reason to act now. 2 techniques to make this, think about this and make it easier. You have either urgency or you have scarcity. So the difference is urgency is time-based and scarcity is quantity-based. So urgency is when you have a sale for only this weekend. So a holiday sale is urgency because the sale's only available for a certain amount of time. It could be a flash sale that you do at a just randomly with no holiday attached or whatever. It's some reason that if you don't do this within this time frame, you're going to miss out. And that brings the whole FOMO, the fear of missing out, and people will rush in and buy a whole bunch of stuff or stock up and those kind of things. So urgency, very powerful, gets people to move now. Why should I actually take action now rather than next week? And then scarcity is it's going to run out. We see this in terms of if you only have like on a website, it's like only 5 remaining. Oh, we're pushed to do it. Airlines have the whole 5 tickets remaining at this price before it's going to go. Oh, I better buy it now, otherwise I'm going to miss out. So it's a quantity-based thing. People do it like Supreme with limited edition launches and that kind of thing. So there's only 100 and people rush in and want to buy it right away because they know that there's not going to be any more made. So you can use those 2 kinds of triggers. We'll talk about how this all integrates across the 5-step in your websites and emails and that kind of thing. But thinking about why should someone actually take action now on it. I would also focus on, again, the educational point of it and give them like emotional and logical reasons for actually taking action. If you want bigger muscles, then you need to get the protein powder now because it's no point starting next week or 1 year from now. You'll still not have the muscles that you want and not have the relationships you want because you didn't go and start this journey now. So there's no time like the present, go now. By using skilled copywriting, you can bring these messages in, and it doesn't always have to be about a discount or a sale or quantity or that kind of thing. It can be in the messaging of why someone should actually move now. Again, Dan Kennedy has a great story of how do you get someone to basically, in the olden days when we used to like fill out coupons and mail them into people, get someone to fill out the coupon right now, put it in an envelope, put in a check. That's a piece of paper that pays people stuff for you youngins. Put it in an envelope, get into your car, drive to the mailbox, post office, put it in the mailbox to order the product. Like, you've got to overcome that need for procrastination, especially when we're on social media and it's like, and swipe. Oh, I've forgotten about it completely the next day, or next day, 5 minutes later. To wrap up, let's talk about how this integrates across your entire website and packaging and that kind of thing, because some mistakes can come in this part as well. So if we think about the 5 steps, we should have all 5 of them across our website, emails, and product packaging as well. When we talk to specific cohorts out at the problem aware phase in terms of our organic social marketing, we need to be aware of what we're actually putting on our packaging and our website in order to convert those prospects. For example, if you are marketing to these 20-year-olds who want ripped abs and all that kind of thing, and then you put that onto your product packaging, then you're going to turn off the 60-year-old grandparents who want that kind of protein powder as well. So you can be clever about this and make sure that your product is more nondescript, talks more science-based or more health-based or different messaging on it, and the picture of the ideal customer might not appear on the packaging. These are the different marketing decisions that we need to make in order to ensure we get the best bang for our buck basically in what we're doing. This is why some companies will niche down and talk to specific customers and be just for them, and they're unapologetic about it, and having the fit ab bodybuilder and stuff like that in their ads and across all their thing. It's like, we don't want old people, we want young people, and they're going to age out of our group and go get married and have kids and jobs and stuff like that, but we just want that 20-year-old age group. You can build a perfectly big business by focusing on that. In the early days, you might not know who you really want to focus on and where the opportunity is. You make decisions and you need to test things. So social media is a great venue to do that, because let's face it, who makes their product packaging the first time and never refreshes their product ever again? Not a lot of companies, maybe the bigger companies that just have a ton of money to pour into these things. But as a young startup, it's often we hate our product packaging a couple of years in, and it all gets changed over to new, fresh branding anyway, as we get more money to invest in more expertise to get it done right. So just think about those things as you're building out that. Again, with your website, you've got all these 5 steps on it. So rather than just go, oh, here's my product, talk about the problem that you're solving and why this is the best solution over alternatives, why your product is the actual benefits of the product is a better way to say it. So features and benefits of the product, why they should buy and invest in their health or whatever it may be, and a call to action that actually pushes them over the line and makes them take action. Now, if you bring all this together and tie it in, you don't need to put discounts and all that kind of thing on your website. When you go, like, you might put them in your ads. So when you're running ads or social media posts or campaigns, you can put discount codes, this is only available for a certain amount of time, so people are encouraged to use it, which will get that call to action going for you. You can put them in your email sequences, so you have them in different clever places, so you're pushing people over the edge in various different ways. So it's just being a little strategic about how you think about using all the different tactics in this whole journey. This is why marketing is complicated, and there's thousands of little decisions that we make, and one of those little things could be turning off a whole bunch of people. And when we slot all these little puzzle pieces into place, suddenly the whole image comes out and the company can actually take off and get to the next level. At the moment, it's not growing because you're stuck with some puzzle pieces out of place that aren't coming together, and it's not letting you attract the right people or make the jump from innovators and early adopters into the mass market. Examples like that. Anyway, think about these 5 steps, how it affects your customers and your prospects and the visitors to your social media and your websites. Make sure that you're trying to cover all the different points. Test a whole bunch of different things to see what works on organic social to make it take off. When you're missing some of these components, obviously you're just going to be losing sales, and so you want to shore up as much of your business as possible so it can grow reliably and consistently, and hope it helps.